Welcome to Bootcampverse, your universe of tech bootcamps. Good morning and welcome back. We're continuing week 3 of our Code2Corporate bootcamp, diving deep into real-world workflows. Yesterday, we explored deployment and CI/CD, how to take your code from development all the way to a live environment, using automated pipelines to ensure everything gets delivered smoothly and reliably. But once an application is deployed, our responsibilities don't end there. In fact, the real challenge begins, making sure your app is running correctly, performing well, and handling errors gracefully in the real world. And that's exactly where logging and monitoring come into play. Let's start by understanding why logging and monitoring are so essential in any corporate environment. Imagine your application is now live, being used by customers around the clock. Production systems are complex. They can encounter bugs, performance slowdowns, infrastructure failures, or even external attacks. So how do you know when something's wrong? And, just as importantly, how do you figure out what's going wrong so you can fix it quickly? This is where logging and monitoring become your best friends. Think of logging as your application's way of talking about what it's doing. Every time an event happens, like a user signing in, a payment being processed, or an error popping up, your application can write a message to a log. These messages are like journal entries, telling you what's happening under the hood. Monitoring, on the other hand, is all about keeping an eye on the vital signs of your application. Just like a doctor checks your temperature, pulse, and blood pressure, monitoring tools continuously track things like response time, error rates, CPU usage, and more. When something looks off, say your website is taking longer to load, or error rates spike, monitoring can alert you so you can jump in before users are affected. Logging and monitoring work best together. Logs give you detailed information about specific events, while monitoring provides a big picture view of your system's health. For example, if monitoring tells you that your error rate just jumped, you can dig into the logs to see exactly what errors are occurring and why. Let's break down the basics of logging. Logs are simple text-based records generated by applications, servers, databases, or even the operating system itself. A typical log entry includes several key pieces of information. First, the timestamp. When did this event happen? This helps you trace the sequence of events and correlate issues. Next, log levels. These indicate the severity of the event and help you filter what matters most. The common log levels are debug, detailed information for diagnosing problems. Think of this as a magnifying glass during development. Info, general events confirming things are working as expected. Warn, something unexpected happened, but the app can still run. Error, a significant problem occurred, but the application is still alive. Fatal, the application crashed or can't recover. Then, you have the log message itself, a description of what happened. Good log messages are clear and concise, making it easy to understand what was going on at that moment. Finally, context. This could be the user ID, request ID, function, or module name. Anything that helps you piece together the full story. There are different types of logs too. Application logs, generated by your own code, tell you about user actions and business logic. Server logs, from web servers like Apache or Nginx, show every incoming request and server response. System logs, from the operating system, capture events like user logins or resource limits. Database logs record every query and transaction in the database. Good logging is vital for debugging. When things break, logs are your main tool for figuring out why. They're also essential for auditing, tracking who did what and when, troubleshooting, and understanding how real users interact with your app. As your systems scale, consider structured logging, formatting logs in a standard way like JSON, so tools can easily parse and analyze them. Now, let's talk monitoring. What should you monitor? First, application performance, response times, throughput, error rates, and latency. If users are experiencing slow load times or errors, monitoring helps you catch these issues early. Next, system resources, CPU, memory, disk space, network traffic. If your server is running low on memory, you want to know before it crashes. Monitoring user experience is also important. Track page load times and user journeys to ensure smooth interactions. Availability is key. Is your application up and running? And finally, business metrics like the number of sign-ups or orders help business teams track success. Monitoring involves several key activities. Data collection, gathering metrics from all parts of your system. Visualization, displaying these metrics in dashboards, often as graphs or charts, so you can spot trends at a glance. Alerting, setting up rules to notify you when something crosses a threshold, like a high error rate or low disk space. Analysis, digging into data to identify trends and prevent issues before users notice. There are many tools for logging and monitoring, so let's go over a few industry favorites. For logging, Splunk is a powerful platform for searching, analyzing, and visualizing logs. It's widely used for security and operational intelligence. The ELK stack, Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, is a popular open-source suite. Logstash collects and processes logs, Elasticsearch stores and indexes them, and Kibana provides dashboards and visualization. Other notable tools include Sumo Logic, Datadog, which does both logging and monitoring, and cloud provider services like AWS CloudWatch Logs. For monitoring, Dynatrace and New Relic are comprehensive application performance monitoring tools. They give you deep insights into how your apps behave, both technically and from a user perspective. Common in enterprise environments. Prometheus and Grafana are favorites in cloud-native and containerized setups. Prometheus collects metrics, while Grafana visualizes them in beautiful, customizable dashboards. Other tools include Nagios, Zabbix, and cloud services like AWS CloudWatch and Azure Monitor. So, how does this fit into a real corporate workflow? As a developer, you'll use logs to debug during development and troubleshoot issues in production. Operations, SR, and DevOps teams live by their monitoring dashboards and alerts to keep systems healthy and respond to incidents quickly. Tomorrow, we'll see how IT support uses logs and monitoring data to resolve user-reported issues. Even business teams use monitoring dashboards to keep an eye on business-critical metrics. Logging and monitoring are key parts of the feedback loop in CI/CD, helping you catch problems early, respond to incidents fast, and keep your systems reliable. To wrap up, remember, logging is about recording what's happening, while monitoring is about tracking health and performance. Both are essential for running reliable, high-performing applications. Today, you've learned the basics and met some of the most popular tools in the industry. For your action item, check out the websites of Splunk, ELK Stack, Dynatrace, New Relic, and Prometheus Grafana. Look at their dashboards and features to get a feel for how real-world logging and monitoring work. Tomorrow, we'll dive into real IT support scenarios, using logs and monitoring insights to diagnose and resolve issues. The skills you're building today will be directly useful as you step into those support roles. If you have any question, now's the perfect time to ask. Thanks for your attention and participation. Don't forget to subscribe to Bootcampverse for more real-world learning that takes you from zero to job ready.